What most travelers don't know is checking a bag isn't just about handing it over. It's about doing it smart. From weight limits to medication rules, there are small steps that make a big difference. Here are 10 things every traveler should remember before handing off that suitcase. 1. Take photos of your bag before you hand it over. Before you let your suitcase vanish behind the check-in counter, stop for a moment and take a few photos. This is one of the easiest and most helpful steps you can take to protect your luggage. Don't settle for just one blurry front shot. First of all, clean your phone camera lens. Capture multiple angles: front, back, both sides, the bottom, and especially the luggage tag. Make sure everything is clear and visible. If your bag has any unique marks, stickers, or straps, get those in the shot too. Why does this matter so much? Because when a bag goes missing, the airline staff will ask you to describe it. Most people panic and say something vague like, "It's a black suitcase with wheels." That doesn't solve it. There could be hundreds of bags just like that on any given day. But if you show a photo, it gives them a concrete reference. They can see the exact size, brand, color, and any unique features your bag has. Photos also help in a second way, if your suitcase is damaged during the journey. Maybe the zipper rips, a wheel cracks, or the handle comes off. If you took a clear photo of the bag before handing it over, you now have visual proof of its original condition. That proof can make the difference between a successful damage claim and a rejected one. Airlines are much more likely to take responsibility if you can show how your bag looked before they got it. Think of this step as a 5-second insurance policy. It costs nothing. It takes barely any time. But if things go wrong, that simple photo could save you hours of frustration and possibly even money. 2. Put your contact info inside the bag. Most travelers know to put a name tag on the outside of their suitcase, but far fewer people think about what happens if that tag comes off. Baggage handlers move quickly. Conveyor belts are rough. Tags can and do get ripped off in the process. If your bag ends up at its destination with no visible identification on the outside, how will the airline know it belongs to you? This is where having your contact information inside the bag becomes so important. It's easy to do. Write down your full name, phone number, and email address on a sturdy piece of paper. If you want to be extra safe, add your home address or the address of your hotel if you're traveling internationally. Put that information inside a plastic sleeve or zip-top bag so it doesn't get wet or torn. Then place it right on top of your clothes where it's easy to find if the suitcase gets opened. Now imagine your bag shows up with no outer tag, and someone at the airport opens it to find out who it belongs to. If they find your contact details immediately, there's a high chance you'll get your luggage back quickly. Without that info, your suitcase could end up in a lost and unclaimed section for weeks. And in some airports, unclaimed luggage is auctioned off after a certain period of time. All of that can be avoided with one simple step. An internal contact card is not just a backup. It's a smart way to give your luggage a second chance at being returned, and it takes less than a minute to set up. 3. Don't show up late and expect your bag to make it. There's a common misunderstanding among travelers. If they make the flight, their bag will too. Unfortunately, that's not always true. When you check your bag, it doesn't go straight to the plane. It goes through a whole system: scanning, screening, sorting, and often manual inspection. That process takes time, and if you show up too close to departure, your bag might not complete that journey fast enough to be loaded onto the aircraft. Here's what happens behind the scenes. After you drop off your luggage, it moves through conveyors where it's scanned for security and routed to the right gate. If something about it gets flagged, it could be pulled aside for additional inspection. If your bag finishes this process too late, it doesn't get loaded because the cargo doors are already closed or the handlers have moved on to the next flight. Airlines operate on tight schedules. They're not going to delay a flight just because one passenger's bag is still making its way through the system. You might board on time, sit in your seat, and think everything's fine until you land and realize your suitcase didn't come with you. At best, your bag arrives on the next available flight. At worst, it takes days to catch up with you, especially if you're in a remote destination or on a multi-leg trip. This is one of the easiest problems to avoid. Just arrive earlier. Give your bag the time it needs to go through the system. Most airlines recommend arriving at least 2 hours before domestic flights and 3 hours before international ones. That's not just about check-in lines and security screening. That's also about making sure your luggage has time to join you on the plane. If you are thinking about squeezing in one more errand or cutting it close, remember this: showing up late might not affect you boarding the plane, but it could leave you standing at baggage claim with nothing to show for it. 4. Confirm destination on the tag. Before your bag rolls away into the system, check that tag. And not just a quick glance. Look at it like your entire trip depends on it, because it does. Here's what you're looking for: a 3-letter airport code that matches your final destination. For example, if you're flying to Paris, the tag should say CDG. If you're headed to Tokyo, it should say NRT or HND. If the code doesn't match your last stop, raise your hand and stop everything. Because once that bag is gone, it's not coming back until someone physically finds it wherever it ended up. Many passengers assume the airline gets it right every time. Don't. Staff can mistype a code or click the wrong city on a drop-down menu. Sometimes there's a mix-up if 2 cities sound alike or have similar codes, like SAN for San Diego versus SNA for Orange County. One slip, and your bag is off to the wrong coast. And if you have a connecting flight, don't just check the first city. Make sure the tag says your final destination. For instance, if you're flying from Chicago to Istanbul with a layover in Frankfurt, your bag should say IST, not FRA. If it says the wrong city, your bag might get offloaded during your layover and never make it to where you're going. Also, check your name on the tag. That tag should match your full name as it appears on your ticket. If you see someone else's name, that means a mix-up has already happened and you're one step away from a baggage nightmare. If you want to be extra cautious, take a photo of the tag before the bag goes. That way, if something does go wrong, you'll have the tracking number ready when you report the issue. You won't have to guess or describe the tag, you'll have it, right there on your phone. Some travelers also compare the destination code on the tag with what's printed on their boarding pass. They should match. If they don't, go back and check with the desk immediately. It takes less than 10 seconds, and it could save you hours or days of stress. And this isn't just about international travel. Domestic flights make mistakes too. Bags get routed to the wrong Dallas, or end up in Portland, Maine instead of Portland, Oregon. It happens. So before your suitcase disappears behind the curtain, hold the tag in your hand, read the code, match it to your itinerary, confirm it with your own eyes. Don't trust the system blindly, because if something goes wrong, they'll ask you what airport it was supposed to go to. And if you didn't look, you'll be guessing too. 5. Never pack valuables in a checked bag. If there's one rule travelers break over and over again, it's this: packing valuables in checked luggage. Maybe it's to save space in a carry-on. Maybe it's just a habit. But it's always a risk, and sometimes a costly one. Checked bags are out of your sight for hours. They go through hands, conveyor belts, cargo bins, and loading carts. And you don't know how they'll be handled or where exactly they'll end up. It's not just about theft. Bags can get delayed and arrive days later. They can get sent to the wrong airport. In some cases, they vanish entirely. Even if the airline eventually finds it, your valuables might not be there. And don't forget environmental damage. Bags left on rainy tarmacs or exposed during loading might come back soaked or warped. All your valuables, laptops, cameras, tablets, hard drives, cash, expensive jewelry, prescription medications, legal documents, and especially passports. These aren't just costly, they're hard to replace. In the case of passports or medication, losing them can ruin your entire trip. That's why you should always carry them with you. Put them in your personal item or carry-on bag, and keep that bag close at all times. You wouldn't hand your valuables to a stranger at the airport, right? So don't hand them to the airline either. Pack smart. If it matters to you, it stays with you. 6. Make your bag. Stand out with a tag, strap, or color. Baggage claim isn't as simple as it sounds. As the carousel starts moving, black and navy suitcases roll out in waves, each one looking almost identical to the last. That's where the problems begin. Someone grabs a bag, thinking it's theirs. Or worse, you grab the wrong one, only realizing it once you're already halfway to your hotel. It happens more often than you think. The fix is easy. Make your bag stand out. Use a brightly colored luggage strap. Attach a large tag with your name on it. Tie a neon ribbon around the handle. Some people even go as far as using bold patterned luggage or sticking reflective stickers on the sides. It may look loud, but that's the point. You want your bag to be immediately recognizable, even from across the room. This also helps airline staff in case your luggage needs to be pulled aside, inspected, or retrieved from a pile. They'll be able to identify it quickly without second-guessing. And if your bag ever ends up lost, having a distinct appearance will make it much easier to describe or locate. Don't underestimate how easy it is for bags to get mixed up. Taking a few seconds to personalize your luggage can save you from hours of hassle later. You're not trying to win a fashion contest, you're trying to make sure your stuff goes home with you. 7. Weigh your bag before you leave the house. An overweight bag can ruin your airport mood and your wallet. Most major airlines enforce a weight limit of 50 pounds or 23 kilograms for checked luggage. Go over that limit, and you're looking at hefty fees, sometimes $100 or more. And those charges are per bag, per flight. A round trip with an overweight suitcase could cost you more than a night at your hotel. The easiest way to avoid this? Weigh your luggage at home. It takes 2 minutes and can save you a ton of stress at the check-in counter. Use a handheld digital luggage scale, cheap, reliable, and made for this exact task. Or, if you don't have one, step on a bathroom scale with your bag and subtract your own weight. It's not exact, but it's close enough to give you a good idea. Guessing is a gamble. And at the airport, gambling costs money. Maybe your bag feels light, but those jeans, shoes, and chargers add up fast. If you're close to the limit, consider moving heavier items to your carry-on or leaving a few things behind. It's better than frantically repacking in front of a line of annoyed passengers while a ticket agent watches the scale like a hawk. Also, remember, some international airlines have stricter weight rules than domestic ones, especially for economy flyers. Always double-check your airline's baggage policy before you pack. Weighing your luggage in advance is such a small task, but it can save you from a massive last-minute headache. 8. Watch the bag. Go on the belt. Once you hand your bag to the airline staff at check-in, don't just walk away. Stay right there. Watch that bag until it disappears onto the belt and heads toward the sorting area. Why? Because mistakes happen, especially in busy airports, at peak hours, or with new staff. Your bag might get stuck. It might roll onto the wrong conveyor belt. Someone might set it aside and forget it. If that happens, and you're not paying attention, you've just kissed your luggage goodbye, and the airline won't know what went wrong. Even a small issue, like a tag printer malfunction or a belt jam, can delay your bag or send it somewhere it's not supposed to go. And no, that's not rare. It happens often enough that airlines actually have full departments for mishandled luggage. Watching your bag for just 30 extra seconds can save you days of dealing with a lost baggage report. Some check-in counters have open belts where you can clearly see the bag moving along. Others may have covered drop-offs or send your bag behind a wall. In either case, you have the right to observe the first part of that journey. Don't feel awkward. You're not being difficult or paranoid. You're being smart. Also, look for signs of hesitation or confusion from the staff. If they look twice at the screen or reprint the tag, ask what's wrong. You're allowed to ask. Sometimes the agent realizes your destination code was entered wrong. Sometimes they catch a system error and fix it. But if they don't say anything and you're not paying attention, the bag might still go out mislabeled. If the belt suddenly stops or there's a beeping sound from the scanner, don't move away. Politely ask if everything went through correctly. If something looks off and no one around seems to be fixing it, speak up. And if you're traveling with others, take turns. One person deals with the boarding passes and passports, the other watches the luggage. It's teamwork, and it's practical. You've spent time packing that bag, making sure it's within weight limits, and following all the rules. So take an extra moment to watch it go. That's not paranoia. That's basic travel sense. 9. Clean your bag of old tags and stickers. You might not think twice about that old baggage tag still clinging to your suitcase from your last flight. Maybe it's from your trip to New York last fall, or a vacation to Barcelona. But while it may look harmless, or even like a travel trophy, it could cause real problems during your next flight. Airport luggage scanners are designed to read barcodes. They don't understand that an old tag is outdated. If your suitcase has multiple barcodes or leftover stickers from previous trips, an automated scanner could accidentally read the wrong one. It's not common, but it's far from impossible. And when it happens, it's a mess. One wrong scan can send your bag to an entirely different city, or even a different continent, while you land exactly where you're supposed to. To avoid this, take a minute to inspect your luggage before heading to the airport. Look for any old baggage stickers, airline tags, or leftover adhesive residue from previous flights. Remove them carefully. You want your suitcase to have only one scannable tag, the one for your current flight. Some frequent travelers even go the extra mile by packing a small alcohol wipe or a gentle adhesive remover in their suitcase. This helps keep the bag clean and avoids scanner confusion. It might sound overly cautious, but a quick wipe down before you check your luggage can prevent hours or days of inconvenience later. And remember, even if airline staff catches the error before the bag is loaded onto the wrong plane, rerouting it still takes time. Your vacation could start with long waits at a baggage office or multiple phone calls to track down your belongings. Worse, if the mistake isn't caught in time, your suitcase could take a scenic route without you. Give your luggage a once-over. It takes less than a minute, but it could be the difference between starting your trip with clean clothes or spending your first day shopping for replacements. 10. Keep the claim tag. You get at check-in. It's small, it's sticky, and most travelers barely glance at it before shoving it into a pocket. But that little barcode sticker the airline gives you at check-in? It's one of the most important documents you'll carry on your flight. It's called a baggage claim tag, and it's essentially your proof of ownership for your checked bag. The tag is usually placed on the back of your boarding pass or your passport cover. It links your bag to your travel record. If something goes wrong, your suitcase is delayed, lost, or arrives damaged, that tag becomes the key to resolving the issue quickly. Without it, finding your bag becomes harder and takes longer. You'll likely have to answer extra questions, describe your bag in detail, and hope someone locates it based on guesswork. That's why it's a smart move to take a photo of the claim tag as soon as you get it. Just snap a quick picture with your phone. That way, even if the sticker falls off or gets lost, you still have all the tracking numbers you need. It's a simple habit that can save you major stress. Some seasoned travelers go a step further and store that photo in a special album on their phone, along with pictures of their bag and its contents. That way, if they need to file a claim or describe the missing luggage, they're ready. So don't treat that tag like a throwaway item. Hold on to it until your suitcase is safely in your hands at your destination. Until then, that little sticker is the only proof you have that the bag is yours, and that it's on the right path. Every one of these can save you a trip disaster. Checking a bag might seem routine, but it's full of small steps that prevent big problems. Whether it's weighing your luggage at home, taking a photo, or putting your medicine in your backpack, each habit can protect your trip from delay, stress, or loss. These aren't just tips to follow when something goes wrong. These are things to do so nothing goes wrong. Because once your bag vanishes into the system, it's out of your control. But what do you do before that moment? That part is 100% up to you.